They are not what you might have heard. Under the cover of darkness, they slither out of the surf onto the beach. Their every move is calculated, stealthy. You could be standing 10 feet away from them and never know they were there. They are the Navy Sea, Air, Land Commandos, or SEALs. As much as they are anything, SEALs are Olympian athletes, constantly preparing for the gunshot that opens their deadly games. Shrouded in secrecy, SEALs are more often than not falsely portrayed as assassins, Rambo wannabes running through the jungle slaying the enemy barehanded. But talk to any SEAL, and you will quickly learn they're far from Rambo. Loners aren't tolerated, and no SEAL believes he can be more effective by himself than with his team. Whether during a training exercise or out in the field, no SEAL is ever intentionally alone. It is teamwork that makes these men so lethal. It is teamwork that allows them to feel secure in a job that's the most dangerous of human endeavors. Years ago, before the massive invasion force could descend on the beaches of Normandy, a group of men had the responsibility of clearing away underwater obstacles. They were Navy frogmen, underwater demolition teams, the grandfathers of today's Navy SEALs. The first SEAL teams were commissioned during the Vietnam War to infiltrate coastal areas, sabotage enemy installations, and report on enemy troop movements.
President Kennedy, as he entered into about the middle of his term, looked at the armed forces, saw a need for a special force that could do some of the work that was evolving around the world, which required small units, specially trained, to work with foreign nations, to be able to do specialized operations, basically special operations. And so in 1962, he directed the Department of Defense to establish both the U.S. Army Special Forces and the Navy SEAL teams. And from that point forward, both those units have been forces in. Not only to find those, but to take the young men who might be on the cusp, so to speak, and to elicit from him that, because he's got it there. The idea is to make them understand that they have great potential. So the idea of BUDS is not to make young men go away, it's to make all those young men understand that they can, in fact, do it. And we are working very hard to be successful at that.
It is, SEALs believe, the toughest military training in the world. It has to be. The SEALs' mission is the toughest mission, and their preferred weapon is training. BUDS is the time when those who are cut out to be SEALs excel, and those who aren't are weeded out.
Initially, we had about 140 guys, and a lot of them were great athletes, and I wouldn't even consider myself in the top half of my class initially. And I thought, wow, how can I compete with these guys? And then I discovered it's not always the best athlete that makes it through. That all the physical demands, if you have that little spark inside, you can push yourself over the edge. You can push yourself out in front.
Over the 26-week-long course, Bud students are continually challenged, both physically and mentally. They begin Bud's training after a 7-week preconditioning course, feeling like they're in pretty good shape. They soon find out that no matter how strong they may be, it's not strong enough.
It seemed like they tried to build the whole body system, running, swimming. They wanted to push it to your limit, like if you could do 100 push-ups, they would push you to do 101. They wanted to break you down to see that you can go beyond that point.
Bud's is broken down into 3 phases. The first phase is a grueling 9-week overall conditioning course. Bud students spend that time in constant motion, running, swimming, and doing calisthenics. The concept of teamwork is drilled into them like muscle memory, the underlying message of everything they do.
Guys that are learners don't make it through training. They can't, because the training is designed for teamwork. It's designed for a greater purpose, for a greater function that no one sole individual can ever accomplish.
They are taught from the very first day to follow instructions and that they're a liability if they try to be Rambo.
How come you can't seem to get in sync with everybody else? Your hands are going up and everybody else's hands are going down. It's like a big accident waiting to happen, son. You better start thinking about what you're doing here. Understand me?
Yelling at a student because he is out of sync during calisthenics may seem harsh, but when they're out in the field, togetherness is literally a matter of life and death. The activities themselves are structured to foster cooperation and trust. Students learn how to maneuver inflatable boats or zodiacs through the ocean's treacherous surf. They paddle together and portage together. As they do, the men and equipment seem to fuse, making the incredibly dangerous seem almost mundane. The same group that struggles to lug a zodiac over a sand dune will soon enough be dragging themselves out of the back of a C-130, together with absolute surety that no one will waver. 6 weeks into Bud's, just when the SEALs in training start to think they're getting the hang of things, the veteran instructors have a reality check for them. Hell Week. 5.5 days of continuous training with only a few hours of sleep. Students are pushed far beyond what they'd ever thought they could do. Some make it, some don't.
When we had the Admiral come out on the beach and say, well, we're all the same now, we've all been through Hell Week. And as you look at your class size, we start out with 87. You drop 30-something people in Hell Week. But to sit there even after Hell Week and look at all the people that you made it with, knowing everything you went through, that 5 days is amazing.
Exhausted, filthy, and emotionally drained, they come away from Hell Week knowing how they will respond to stress and anxiety. They come away with greater self-confidence. They can trust how they will react and believe in their teammates. They have a bond, an experience that none of them will ever forget. But their training has only begun. There is a tradition in Bud's that when a candidate drops out, he rings a bell announcing his departure. By the time Buds have reached phase 2 of their training, the bell has rung many times. Those that remain may not have been the strongest coming in, but they have proven that they have the motivation, drive, and determination that it takes to be a SEAL.
Like body size and height, it doesn't make a difference. They want to see what's inside of your mind and your heart to see if you're going to keep pushing and do your best.
As the weeks progress and the body and mind grow, so does the intensity of Bud's training. Repetitions are increased and minimum passing times are lowered. Throughout all the phases of Bud's, Students are required to run the obstacle course, which prepares them for some of the treacherous conditions they may meet while in combat. During Phase 2, Bud students begin to acquire the skills that will carry them through their careers. For 7 weeks, the students stay extremely wet as they learn 2 types of combat scuba. First, there is the open circuit, where the air you take in is then exhaled into the water, creating bubbles that can be seen on the surface. Closed circuit scuba is more stealthy. The air a diver exhales is recycled through a scrubber. Divers moving with closed circuit equipment leave no incriminating bubbles behind. By the completion of Phase 2, students are effectively able to maneuver themselves from their launch point offshore to their combat objective. The water has become as much their home as the land. Regardless of the insertion tactic, the objective remains the same: getting to the target quickly and safely, accomplishing the goal, and then getting out alive. Cast and recovery is one way of getting out of bad places fast. Bud students in the water await what is called a string line recovery. It is an extraction maneuver that allows a small craft to pick up seals from the water while staying in constant motion. Overshadowed by the physical training is the academic aspect of a student's life. Bud students spend hours in the classroom learning dive tables and studying tactics.
Everyone's under the delusion that Bud's training is solely physical, and that is a misconception. Bud's training is not a solely physical endeavor. It has a lot of intellectual and cognitive processes going on there. And I was in the gym the other night, and a Marine told me that SEALs are the most cerebral warriors, and that's pretty much the fact. We're not just grunts humping around shooting. We actually have a very technical mission, that actually requires a lot of academic study. And people solely think that SEALs are these guys who just hang out and work out and train all day, and that's not at all the fact.
After 17 weeks, it is time for the Bud students to fuse their new skills and knowledge together into a coherent package. They are like journeyman carpenters who know how to drive screws and pound nails, but who have never built a house. During Phase 3 of their training, students learn to take the raw material of their training and build it into success on the battlefield. Phase 3 is demolition, reconnaissance, and land warfare training. It takes place off the coast of California on San Clemente Island. There, Bud students and trainers spend 5 weeks out of sight of the world. Under the rocks and scrub, they learn to apply their skills in the Navy's closest approximation of the real world.
The basic crux of SEAL training is to teach the young man that through a constant series of challenges over 25 weeks, there is no restriction on what he's able to do. So it is a very challenging course. It is a safe course, but in the sense that we can never replicate combat. But certainly it pushes the young man to the point that when he gets into that kind of a situation, he has great self-confidence in himself, he believes in himself and his teammates, and that is the underpinning of what basic SEAL training is all about. And it has worked very well for us.
Bud students return from San Clemente as SEALs. Though their formal graduation remains ahead of them, their recognition within the Corps is secure. They have paid all the dues anyone could ask them to pay. When a SEAL graduates BUDS and embarks on a naval career, his education has only started. There is a constant stream of information to assimilate, a constant increase in the military's technical capability. It is a key aspect of SEAL life to stay on the cutting edge. Though SEAL commanders bristle when their hard work is seen by outsiders as play, it is impossible not to think of some of the SEAL equipment as toys. Take, for example, what the brass call a desert patrol vehicle. Based on an off-road three-man racing vehicle designed by Chenoweth, the DPV can operate anywhere a four-wheel drive vehicle can, only faster and with more maneuverability. It is, of course, no toy. Toys don't come with a Mark 19 40mm grenade launcher, 2 M60 machine guns, and 6 light anti-armor weapons. No dune buggy has state-of-the-art satellite navigation systems, and most drivers prefer Ray-Bans to night vision goggles. The DPV can blast over enemy territory at over 60 miles an hour, pick up a downed pilot, and come roaring back before the enemy even has time to react. The DPV isn't a SEAL's only means of transportation. As training continues, SEALs learn more specialized insertion and extraction techniques. Using the fast rope technique, SEALs can put an entire squad on the ground in 3 to 5 seconds. They are even trained to exit a submerged submarine. They also launch with their Zodiacs from the exterior of a submarine as it slips beneath the waves. These techniques allow SEALs the flexibility to get in and out of any of the world's trouble spots, which is important. Imagine a SEAL mission from start to finish. Imagine it built of blocks formed out of training. A call comes in. There is trouble somewhere within reach of American warships. The SEALs gather, board transports, and move to the hotspot. There is nothing they are going to do that they haven't done hundreds of times before, except that this time, the bad guys will be real.
Navy SEALs and Special Operations Forces in particular can do a couple of things. One, they can certainly operate independently when necessary, but they can also be part of a larger conflict where they, with their special skills and their special ability and mobility, are able to support large conventional forces.
When the SEALs arrive, they decide a route in: sea, land, air. They are prepared. From their earliest physical conditioning, they have passed hundreds, even thousands of tests. That is the bedrock of their capability, the foundation that provides their security. They will do their best work out of sight of the world, utterly dependent on each other. Those SEALs have died in combat. No body has ever been left behind. No member of the team has ever been abandoned. It is ingrained in them from the start of BUDS, and by boat or helicopter or foot, they go in and come out together.
The support of what we do is going to end up saving lives. A 16-man platoon doing a recon on the beach, patrolling inland, is going to save probably tens to thousands of Marines that will be following us. And when I look at it from that perspective, it's an awesome feeling. Knowing that people coming in behind me, if I'm doing my job, it's going to save their life. Which means we accomplish our mission, they accomplish our mission, we all come home. I truly believe